Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you. You know, all of us at one time or another have had a vision. Maybe that vision would help us accomplish something great, or perhaps it would allow us to focus on our passion. If that vision is carried out properly, it could provide us with a better lifestyle. However, how do we know that we're taking the proper steps to achieve our vision? Are we taking the right actions, or are we just throwing efforts and money into the wind? Well, today we'll be speaking with two visionaries that will help you facilitate the proper actions in your business. We're going to be talking to the founders of Choose Growth. Isaac Tolpin and Chris Behnke are on the show. Sharp young guys. Really sharp guys. We'll also have our dear friend Ian Norris coming back for co-host. Give Ian a hand. He's British. Listen, if you have had great vision, but you're looking to figure out how to turn that vision into profits, trust me, you will not want to miss a minute of this episode. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Stick around.
Come experience Nolan's. Savor award-winning steaks, Greek-style cuisine, fresh local seafood, and an extensive choice of wines. Whether you'd like to reserve the large private dining room, enjoy a meal on an outdoor deck, or rock the night away in our lounge, Nolan's, now celebrating 25 years of exceeding your expectations for casual fine dining, live entertainment, and dancing nightly.
Real estate today offers incredible opportunities, low prices, and extremely low interest rates. Hi, I'm Amy Norris from Amy Sells the Beach. Right now, there are opportunities in all areas. Our team can help you put your money to work finding your dream or investment property. And if you're looking to sell, no one can give you better exposure to buyers and make your property stand out. Experience matters when looking for opportunity. I'm Amy Norris. See why we're #1 at amysellsthebeach.com.
When visiting Gulf Shores, Alabama, make sure to visit the Gulf Coast Zoo, home of the little zoo that could from Animal Planet. Get up close in our petting zoo. Enjoy our unique animal encounters. More than 300 monkeys, bears, reptiles, big cats, parrots, and more call a Gulf Coast home. Come on, go wild at the Alabama Gulf Coast Zoo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. I'm here with my dear friend Ian Norris, my co-host and buddy. How are you, Ian?
Good evening, Dan. I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. What's new in your life, man?
Well, the same old, but you know, that's good.
Well, you mean success and live the high life, the same old?
No. It's just headless running around.
Okay.
But anyway, we're moving along. So doing well. That's the main
The
thing.
wife's doing well?
Yep. Extremely
Family's
busy.
good?
Really busy.
She's a mover and a shaker, I have to say. Well,
what I wanted to do this week, Dan, was just touch on something as briefly as possible.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, I'm just going to bring in an experience I had
go
with
nuts,
flying.
man.
When I was flying the other day, I was flying into on the local regional airport.
Were you flying, or you actually were on a plane?
I was flying.
You were flying, okay.
Yeah, and I flew into Pensacola Regional. And as I got down and went through the various steps that you do, getting into, landing, taxiing, and making your way to your destination, it occurred to me that I really attacked that in a singular, step-by-step mental process.
Right.
I don't think about the big picture. I just deal with the next step so I don't make a mistake. And it occurred to me that really sometimes with business, when we have ideas, when we want to develop something of our own, we may see the Richard Bransons of the world.
Right.
We may see the Bill Gates and so on, and we see a big, huge empire of success, and that's what we have to do to do the same thing. And really what I wanted to mention was that everybody or many people will have to break it down smaller than that, one step at a time. If it works for you to make a big empire quickly, then great, but most of us don't. So pick a little area, something that you can make your little niche, a small thing that you can focus on.
Yeah,
develop,
get some momentum.
Yeah, build that, and then expand on it as you go. Even Sir Richard Branson did the same thing. Yeah. He picked the Virgin Records, focused on that, made it successful, and then he went on to Coke and the airline and other things. So, you know, break it down to a niche area and focus. You know, break it down to a...
The opportunity one time to ask Donald Trump, you know, what do you really contribute your success to? And he really surprised me. He said, my ability, the reason I'm successful is my ability to have tunnel vision. And generally, when we think of tunnel vision, it's kind of perceived as a negative thing that that guy has tunnel vision. But he says, you know, you have to zoom out to a certain perspective to look at a broad enough timeline, maybe, you know, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever that is, and you have to build that plan. But once that plan's built, he says, what I do is if you stay zoomed out to a broad perspective, it's too much information and you'll get discouraged. You'll actually start projecting out and saying, I'm behind on my schedule. So he says, once I have that all built, I'll zoom in to just the next thing. Like, what's the next step? I have to kill this next step. And I don't look at anything else except for that until that's accomplished. Then I look at the next thing. And I think that I really agree with what you're saying, because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we stay zoomed out to looking at the whole 2 years or 5 years or whatever, and it's very easy to project out to failure and experience discouragement.
And we'll do it. And then maybe next time when I come back, we can talk about how we can then take that niche and really build it to brand ourselves and expose ourselves to bigger expansion opportunities.
Well, you know, and I've been up with you before in the plane, and I have to say I'm glad that you take one thing at a time, because the checklist of all those things, I would have crashed and burned for sure. So my mind is not as methodical as some.
Keeps us all in the straight and narrow.
I'm telling you. And you know, our guest tonight, I don't know how much time you've had to look at the Choose Growth model, but it's really interesting because that's what they do, is they really get personally involved and help you, you know, instead of saying like, here's what we're going to do vision-wise, they're looking for people that already have a, you know, a pretty good vision, and they break it down and say, okay, if you're really wanting to accomplish this vision, here's the next couple things you're going to do. And they really do that, and I think most people need something like that. Yeah. But let's bring out our guests, the founders of Choose Growth, Isaac Tolpin and Chris Behnke, everybody.
Thank you, Dan. Great to be here. No problem.
How are you, my friend? I'm glad to have you guys on. We've been communicating for quite a long time on social media. Yeah. And I think that's the way we originally got introduced. Is that right? Through social media?
I think LinkedIn, actually.
Yeah, well, man, you got to believe it. Thank goodness for LinkedIn. And we're going to talk a little bit about Choose Growth and that whole thing. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you guys got started together.
Oh, sure. We've known each other, what, about 10 years?
Almost.
Yeah, our families know each other, and we've just started building business together the last couple of years. We live in Portland, Oregon.
Really mover and shaker town. Portland, Oregon has got some thinkers.
It is
now.
Some technology happening there. Technology companies.
Yeah, there's a few hubs around the country that, you know, but Portland, recently I read that it was voted one of the top entrepreneur cities. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah.
But really, there's a lot of people, there's things happening in Portland. Talk a little bit about, you look like pretty young guys, which I appreciate because I got started fairly young as well. But I heard, I don't know if this is true, that between the two of you got like 10 kids. Is that right? Or,
that's actually true. That is true.
So you guys go out together. There's like a tribe behind you.
Yeah. So it's 10 kids and the wives. It's a lot
Something
of fun.
in the water in Portland, Oregon. Okay. Well, talk a little bit about Choose Growth. First of all, I have to pick on the name a little bit. Choose Growth, it's an interesting name, but it almost sounds like a part of a mission statement. You know, Choose Growth.
Yeah.
How'd you guys come up with the name?
Oh, that's a great story. I mean, it came from a speech I was giving to another organization, and it was all about how can you actually move a large organization? Well, if you slow down the moment, if you actually get conscious, what most people are just doing subconsciously, choosing the easier path, the easier decision, moment, whatever it is.
Path least amount of resistance.
That's right. And everybody talks about this, right? A lot of thought leaders talk about this, but I thought, well, what would be something people could remember on an ongoing basis? Choose growth. So they can get conscious about choosing the better paths. And it revolutionized that organization.
And I do think that success in itself is a choice. I think people subconsciously maybe choose to fail. And you hear about these guys that, you know, they got a flat tire, then their aunt died, and this happened. They literally have like a black cloud following them. You know, and I used to have these, some of them work for me, and I would think they were lying. I was like, I got to get to the bottom of this. You know, and I'd keep track of everything, and they weren't lying. Everything happens to them because they have that stinking thinking, so to speak. But I think that success, you do choose to be, it's a very conscious decision to say, you know what? You find kind of your why and you say, that's it, I'm done. Yeah. And it's a conscious effort to actually choose success or choose growth.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then we applied that. We saw the whole industry of people doing thought leadership and so forth and how that could be applied. So
now I have to say, there's a lot of education companies out there. There's a lot of people that are offering business coaching. But what would you say that makes you guys stand apart? from everybody else?
Really, we're an implementation company. So there's a lot of people that are talking about how to market and do these different things.
Yeah.
We're the company that actually comes alongside the thought leaders, the proven entrepreneurially minded experts that have a calling within them for widespread impact. So we're the company that comes alongside and offers that practical support and helps them productize the genius in their minds. So they have all these things stewing in their mind. They want to productize. They want to create courses. So we're the implementation company that supports
So you're
that.
really not looking for those people that don't really know what they want out of life. They don't really have any vision.
Right.
You're really looking for people that have already maybe had some vision and they've already maybe got a little bit of traction, but possibly they don't know exactly how to take that vision and facilitate the right action.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Right.
Yeah, when you find someone that has a lot of success as they're growing their business and they're becoming more and more and more successful, what usually happens is they hit this lid and they're unable to break through that lid
right.
because they got to service their clients, they got to service their products. And so we help identify that with them and then help them move past that by implementing some of those things for them.
I can completely relate to what you guys are saying because the more success that you do have a lot more opportunities, and a lot of it creates busy work. And we know the 80-20 rule. You know, sometimes I'll go in and I'll put, you know, an 8-hour day in, and I'm saying, you know, I did a lot of stuff,
Right.
but nothing really moved the needle. And I really need to focus on the things that move the needle and try to. And a lot of these tasks are easy, but I find myself procrastinating to do them because I don't have that other part that will help me facilitate those things.
And you can't not do them.
Yeah,
they're absolutely
necessary.
required for business, but they're often get in the way of doing what you really should be doing.
Well, I have to say that we've talked a little bit at lunch today, too, and I've spent some real time on your website. And I have to say, your guys' business model, it's very unique. And it's a real undertaking what you guys are doing. And I have to say, you're already getting great traction and momentum.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about your unique business model, if we could, okay?
Sounds great.
Stick with us. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Real estate today offers incredible opportunities, low prices, and extremely low interest rates. Hi, I'm Amy Norris from Amy Sells the Beach. Right now, there are opportunities in all areas. Our team can help you put your money to work finding your dream or investment property. And if you're looking to sell, no one can give you better exposure to buyers and make your property stand out. Experience matters when looking for opportunity. I'm Amy Norris. See why we're #1 at amysellsthebeach.com.
Thank you very much. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with the founders of Choose Growth, Isaac Tolpin and Chris Behnke. I got that right, Behnke. What is that, German?
It is. It's German.
My wife is German. That's not relatable at all, but I thought I would just throw it out there. We've been talking about your Choose Growth, and I have to say, it really is different from what I've seen out there. And I've been, of course, in the business world and the seminar business for a long time. But one of my pet peeves is there's everybody out in the seminar business, they'll tell you the what, right? They'll tell you what you're doing wrong and what you need to be doing. And a few handfuls will kind of sell you the how, like in a big box. And you get home and you're like, okay, I know the answers I need are in here, but I don't even know how to go about this, right? So what I've seen is people really need like a how for the how. They almost need baby steps to where they say, okay, here's your vision, we get it, but like here's the next, if you really want to accomplish this vision, here's the next 5 things we have to do. Let's bang it out, get those things done, and then we'll tell you the next 5 things.
Yep.
You can't just look at the whole box because what will happen is you get discouraged and then you say, man, maybe the next guy that's coming through town, maybe he's got the answers. And these people become seminar and education junkies where they go to all these things, but there's never any action.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's not very many companies out there that are willing to get involved and say, look, we're going to kind of partner with you, be your partners, and we're going to tackle this stuff because you've been talking about it for 2 years, and we're going to get it done for you. That's amazing. Talk a little bit about the business model, or because you do have a pretty unique model for Choose Growth.
Yeah, well, the business model is really based on the idea that we all want a team, but we don't want to manage a team. We all want to productize, and we want to develop what we're geniuses at, but we never get around to it, right? And so the business model is that we are providing our team to support these thought leaders, to actually productize their content. And we are partnering in doing that, and then there's a cross-pollination happening within our network of partners as well. And so it's an ongoing relationship. We're not looking for an, a transactional relationship. It's an intrinsic relationship.
Well, and the benefit too is you don't have to pay a full-time staff with fixed overhead to create all these other, this large staff where now you got this big overhead. You just, it's almost like outsourcing. You guys got these partners that when things need to get done, you're there. And they can rely on you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because what does it take to create a nice video nowadays?
It's
hard. It's hard to do.
It's a lot of work, more than what people realize, right?
Right.
I know that I read online. Let me make sure I got this right. You've talked about creating this productive community. So it's really more than a vision, like a company's vision, but you guys are out there getting in the trenches, helping these people, others facilitate their business. But you're also at the same time kind of putting together this whole productive community. Expound a little bit on that.
Yeah, sure. So the strongest proven entrepreneurs are very independent people. But at the same time, if you can get the right assimilation of independent people with the right community, they'll have an edge in the new economy.
Right.
And so that is Choose Growth University. That is productizing together to create a platform where we can provide enough content into it to where people pay on a subscription basis and do it together that creates wider exposure for everybody. And so that's part of it.
Now, I know that to be able to create, you mentioned Choose Growth University, you're talking about quite a bit of content that would be needed to be able to create this community. How do you plan on keeping up with that?
Yeah, so we work with our partners to help them develop a plan over a period of months, sometimes over a period of a year, for the type of content that they need to create, whether it's for promotional marketing materials, whether it's for some kind of a course or set of lessons, something that they want to productize. And then we help them actually produce that content. Sometimes it involves some writing, sometimes it involves actual videography and production, sometimes it involves putting all of those pieces together inside their web platform.
And what I like about what you guys do too, because at times, we've hired agents to kind of help our careers, or booking agents. And I kind of feel like if there's nothing in it for them, if it's just like a salary type thing, which most of them are on, they're not real motivated to go out and get things done. But I love what you guys do, because you even have a program where, let's say I provide you a bunch of content, you guys help me get it all out, get it professional, put it out there for me, and I can give you, say, 20%. And now there's a little skin in the game on both sides, because you guys are actively out there pushing.
Right.
Because I still get 80%, but it's a headache I don't have to worry about anymore.
You got to make sure your motivations are in alignment, right?
That's right.
And so on an ongoing basis, we're helping them productize in a real e-learning kind of curriculum, which is kind of exploding these days.
Now, talk a little bit about, I read this on your site that was talking about a growing magnitude of mission. That kind of struck me a little bit weird, a growing magnitude of mission. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I think what we've discovered and what we really enjoy doing is finding these thought leaders. And when you find these thought leaders, if you find the right type of person, I mean, you talked about the 80-20 rule. If you find those people in that 20%, they have this desire to make an amazing impact. And what happens is they start to make that impact, and it works, and it gets a little better, and it works, and it gets a little better, and they get energy from it, and they love it. And then they realize they love it, and then this lid. This kind of growing magnitude of mission is that kind of feeling that I've got to do that. I've got to figure out how to break through that lid. But they can't oftentimes because they've got all of the tactical things that they have to do to run their business. So we kind of help them break through that lid and realize that magnitude of mission that's growing as they desire to make a bigger impact, a bigger dent in the universe.
Sure.
We kind of help facilitate that through the practical, tactical pieces of that business.
Well, listen, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about what type of obstacles you help your partners overcome. And then also I want to talk a little bit about what you feel like your biggest obstacles will be in taking on such a large venture. Stick around. We'll be right back with Choose Growth. Don't go anywhere.
Come experience Nolan's. Savor award-winning steaks, Greek-style cuisine, fresh local seafood, and an extensive choice of wines. Whether you'd like to reserve the large private dining room, enjoy a meal on an outdoor deck, or rock the night away in our lounge, Nolan's now celebrating 25 years of exceeding your expectations for casual fine dining, live entertainment, and dancing nightly.
When visiting Gulf Shores, Alabama, make sure to visit the Gulf Coast Zoo, home of the little zoo that could from Animal Planet. Get up close in our petting zoo. Enjoy our unique animal encounters. More than 300 monkeys, bears, reptiles, big cats, parrots, and more call Gulf Coast home. Come on, go wild at the Alabama Gulf Coast Zoo.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome back to the show. Thank you, everybody. I have to say, too, real quick, if you're wanting to, we get a lot of people asking us, how do we get a hold of more information? We want to see some behind-the-scenes extras with your guests. One thing you can do is follow us on Twitter at Dan Vega Host, as well as our social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, or you can go to our website at tuesdayswithdan.com. We've been speaking with Chris Behnke and Isaac Tolpin. Tolpin, I got that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And about Choose Growth and your unique business model. What are some of the obstacles, or I should say industry lids, that you're helping people overcome? Is there, like, you're seeing the same things, or is everybody kind of different?
Yeah, I think there are some things that are common. There's this marketing and kind of website and video production and those kind of things. Those are common throughout.
Maybe not a good online image.
Not a good online image. And what's interesting that we've seen in the last 10 years is this explosion of video, this explosion of the internet, and everybody's got a website. And a lot of times you'll have a really excellent author, thought leader, somebody that can really deliver amazing content, that can really help people. They have a really poor brand.
Yeah.
A poor website, poor videography, poor marketing materials. And then there's someone right next to them that really can't actually deliver a lot of value, but they have a really good buddy that's an amazing web developer, and they have an amazing brand.
And they look like an authority in the industry.
They look like a complete
so
authority.
Irritating.
And so a lot of times we help kind of identify that and cut through that, and then we help the real thought leader develop this kind of complete package of an online presence that really represents who they are to the market.
I totally can relate. I have a bunch of friends that we're in a mastermind group with, and these are very successful people that I'm for. They let me shine their shoes and things. But it's funny because most of my mentors are at least probably twice my age or close to it. And they call me, and I'm terrible at social media and online brand and all that, I think. And they'll call me and they'll say, Vega, what the heck is this Twitter thing? Or this Facebook thing the kids are doing? And how do I get my brand out there? And do I need a website?
Right.
And they want me to facilitate. They're like, can you help me with this? And I'm like, no, man, I'm barely doing it. I can't help you. But man, I know what you're saying. There's a lot of people that have really positioned themselves as the authority.
Right.
And they don't have the goods, quite frankly. And there's other people that they just don't create the value. They haven't created the perception to equal the real value that they actually have. Talk a little bit about e-learning. I know that e-learning is so big right now. Of course, we've always done webinars and teleseminars, things like that. But now I have friends that are creating whole entire curriculums and programs online that is just going fantastic. What do you guys foresee?
Well,
in terms of e-learning?
It's absolutely exploding. If you go to Coursera.com, if you go to Udemy or G5 Leadership, there's also Creative Live. I mean, lots of fantastic places. Universities are taking it up. Why? Because we're ready for it. We want to consume content that way. It's easy for us because it's set up with a mixture of video, content. You can take quizzes and tests. It remembers who you are. You can log back in. So do it on your own time.
Well, so for instance, if I came to you guys and I said, look, I can put out a lot of content, but I'm pressed for time. Could you literally help me create okay, we're going to create a whole curriculum here.
Right.
I'm going to create a high-level curriculum for entrepreneurs, but I'd also like to create a curriculum for young entrepreneurs to kind of get started. You could facilitate all of that.
Well, we're passionate about it because it takes somebody from transactional revenue to more leveraged revenue, and even duplication in some ways. Right? And so they can bring their genius into a curriculum and course where it's serving, it's having impact. It's helping them fulfill their growing magnitude mission.
Is part of your coaching, does it get into the realm of social media? I imagine it would have to. Because I know that from what I've seen, and by no means am I an authority in social media, but each one really has a different temperament and really behavior.
Right.
If you approach Facebook like the way you're supposed to approach LinkedIn, it's not going to go great. So do you kind of go through and say, well, here's kind of the behavior of this one, and here's kind of the way to approach this one?
Right. Yeah, I think what's important to understand is, well, first of all, the social media platform, whatever that means, is constantly changing.
Yeah.
In fact, that's the only thing that's not that stays stable, is that it's always changing, right? And so one of the things that we do is we work with our partners to really understand what they're trying to do. It may not make sense for them to have a Twitter account and leverage it. It probably does, but it might not. And so it's really important to fully understand what they're trying to do in their business, try to understand who their target demographic is, what are they trying to accomplish, how do they want to communicate with them, and then develop a plan that actually fits inside that.
Right. Guys, real quick, let me just ask you a question. What do you think, real quickly, your biggest obstacle will be in putting this out there? I know things are already going great, you're getting traction, but what are some of the obstacles you foresee?
The biggest obstacle is really helping people understand what our business model is. Because there's people that do pieces of it, this and that, and they automatically start getting on a track of, oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, sure.
Well, no, we're not a marketing company that just does marketing. Or no, we don't just build websites. Although we do all of that, really, we're this ecosystem of practical support for thought leaders that are proven in the marketplace. And so that's been the hardest thing.
Well, guys, I totally get your vision. I'm sold. And if people want more information, or they would like to say, I want to reach out to these guys, do you give like a free consultation? Like you'll get them on the phone with somebody that they can learn more?
Oh, sure.
Where can
Absolutely.
we get information?
ChooseGrowth.com.
ChooseGrowth.com.
Simple as that. info@choosegrowth.com if you want emails.
And I'm telling you, if you've had a great vision, but you're looking to figure out the steps that you need to create your success, these are the guys to see. Thank you guys so much for coming on. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah.
And come back, would you? I'd love
absolutely.
to keep up with the progress.
Let's do it.
Isaac Tolpin and Chris Behnke, everybody. Choose Growth. I'll get those right. Guys, I also want to give a special thanks to Ian Norris for co-hosting. That's our show. We're out of time. But don't forget to get involved in your local community and be forgiving of others. Good night, everybody.